What's going on, folks? UFC 268 Fight Day live chat. Big welterweight title fight that we got tonight. Covington, Kamaru Usman. Two, obviously a rematch from their fight way back in December of 2019 at UFC 245. Banger of a fight. I'm expecting the same thing tonight. Co-main event, Wiley Zhang and Rose Namajunas. Obviously another rematch there for the strawweight title. Really looking forward to that one as well. Michael Chandler versus Justin Gaethje, Shane Burgos versus Billy Quarantillo, Frankie Edgar versus Marlon Vera, the debuts of Ian Gary and Alex Pereira. A ton for us to sink into tonight. And the fights are pretty much there's a couple fights, maybe max two fights where I'm like, I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? Chris Barnett, Gian Vellante, don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. And I'm excited for Iaquinta's return, but like the ramifications of that fight within the lightweight divisions are like nothing. There's nothing to really look forward to after that fight. Okay, Bobby Green beats Al Iaquinta. Iaquinta is an inactive lightweight. What is there to get excited about? Chris Curtis and Phil Hawes, again, I care slightly more for that one because of the potential upset ability and the dog that is Chris Curtis. I do have a sprinkle on that round 3 prop as well for Chris Curtis, just for, just because, I mean, Phil Hawes, it's always nice to try to feed him late. Obviously making improvements over his last couple fights, won 2 straight decisions in a row now. But one thing that is constant in his fights is your boy's getting rocked every single time. So got to take a chance on that third round prop is eventually going to hit one of these days. Another potential third round prop, Nasruddin Imavov over Shabazian. I got that third round prop dug in. I really thought that we were going to get Imavov at plus money considering where the odds are trending, but it seems like the buck stopped at once these fires were pretty much even here. I ended up passing on Imavov, but I feel pretty good about him. If I were to make one more bet on the card, it would likely be Nasruddin Imavov money line. Now, in terms of the bets that I actually have for tomorrow, I'll start off with that, and then, or for tonight, sorry, I'll start off with that, and then we'll get into the comment section here, since that is pretty much what you guys are here for. I have no lock of the night play for tonight. It's going to be very difficult to, or it was very difficult for me to find a play that I wanted to put 4 or 5 units on. I really want to be more disciplined, right? And I feel like it's been very much working out. Don't need a lock of the night every night. I would rather take those 4 or 5 units and spread it among other bets that I feel are pretty good, and that's exactly what I did for tonight. And I've been doing over the last couple of weeks, and it's been pretty damn good for me. So, first and foremost, dog of the night play, I have Frankie Edgar 1.5 units at plus 148. As long as he doesn't get knocked out, he should be able to go out there and put on a good performance against a guy like Marlon Vera, who I think has always kind of been overrated at a certain time. If he's ever going to be Frankie Edgar, this is the time, but I'm not willing to pay chalk on him. And I also believe that Frankie Edgar has a damn good shot to go out there and pull off the upset. So I got Edgar, 1.5 at plus 148. I also have another dog of the night play on the Bogdazarian and Bruno Souza fight to go under 2.5 rounds. I have 1 unit on that at plus 100. Very much looking forward to that one. Again, I think it's mainly going to be based on Bogdazarian going out there and getting that first round KO. That seems to be the livest option here. But I did take the under 2.5 just for, a little bit of insurance in case it does get out of that first round. Bogdazarian could still finish the fight, and Souza potentially could have some success of his own, but did not look good at the weigh-ins, in my opinion, last night or yesterday morning. And he obviously missed weight. So there's that. I also have Alex Pereira inside the distance, 1 unit at plus 110. That's an intriguing one to me, considering that Pereira is about minus 250 on the money line. His big, win equity, whatever you want to call it, a lot of it will come in that first round. Or sorry, that inside the distance mark. So why take that minus 250 on the money line when you feel like he should go out there and knock out Michailidis? 4 losses on Michailidis, right? Michailidis's record all by finish. Got to believe that Pereira is going to be able to replicate that. Then I have 2 parlays, two unit parlays. The first of which Ian Gary, who I believe should be able to run through Jordan Williams here. Again, I'm only giving Williams a bit of a Hail Mary knockout shot. That's about it. And then Ode Osborne is the second leg of that parlay. Should be able to go in there and do work against Vergaro, who was another guy who actually ended up missing weight. So I got 2 units on that parlay, which comes out to plus 106. And then lastly, I got a parlay of Dustin Jacoby, who I think does absolute work against Sean Allen tonight. Parlayed with the Michael Chandler and Justin Gaethje fight, does not go to decision. 2 units at minus 132. So 5 plays tonight, 2 parlays. Let's fucking get it. All right, let's see what the chat is saying now, and we can start getting into this comment section here because you guys are the boss. I see you guys all jumping in here nice and early. Josh Verne saying 4 to 6 dogs tonight. Ooh, let's see. Let's see which dogs I believe are live. Kobe is live. Rose is live. Frankie's live. Billy a little bit, but I'm not going to count him. Chandler a little bit, but I'm not going to count him. Mihalitis, not going to count him. Quinta, not going to count him. Curtis, I'd count. Shabazian, I'd count. Barnett, I'd count. Yeah, 6 dogs. In terms of the dogs that I'm picking to actually win, and predicting to win, I believe I have only chosen. I haven't chose many actually. One dog I believe I picked on the entire card. Wow, interesting. Yeah, the only dog that I picked to win was Frankie Edgar. Usman, Zhang, Edgar, Burgos, Gaethje, Pereira, Green, Hawes reluctantly, so I could absolutely see Curtis winning that fight. Like I said, Imavov, Gary, Vellante, again, Barnett, very live in my opinion. Jacoby, Bogdasarian, and Osborne. Yeah, I only predicted one underdog to win. We'll see. Again, I think the buck was stopped on the last PFL or actually the Bellator card yesterday. I believe the favorites went 13-1 on the last UFC card. There was a trend where we're only getting like 2 or 3 underdogs winning on every single UFC card over the last couple weeks. So yeah, just got to worry about that. Got to think about that. Let's see. Buffalo on the beat saying great having El Jefe on last night. Yeah, he was a beast, man. I really enjoyed my time with him. I can't wait to have him back on. That guy's an absolute beast and a half. Dennis Lee saying, been a while since we've had a late start like this. UFC pay-per-view hours are back. I think only for this weekend, right? And then the next couple weeks it goes back to earlier fight night starts. Let me just see if I can quickly pull that up. Yeah, they don't have them posted yet, but I swear that I saw. Well, okay, for example, the next fight night, which is Holloway and Yair, it says the post-fight press conference starts at 7 p.m. Let me see if I can pull up the they actually have the times here. Prelims kick off. Prelims kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern next week. Main card kicks off at 4 p.m. Eastern. So there you go. Back to early start times, Dennis, which I love. I prefer the early start times, to be honest. Brian Anthony in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by. He's going to 268 tonight, man. Have a good time, brother. It should be a great fart. Great time. Jeez, that was a brain fart and a half. You know what it is? I thought I saw my guy Mixed Partial Farts in the chat here. Probably threw me off a little bit. I'm going to skim through a little bit of the top of the chat here so I can catch up to the live, shout to the 60-ish live viewers that we currently have. I'm sure we're going to get some more because usually these pay-per-view ones get a little bit more lit than the other ones. Paul Brassfield is saying Frankie should win easily. I wouldn't say easily, but I think he wins. Or he could make it look easy. Again, I'm going to have I'm going to be very tense that entire fight because he could get knocked out at any point. But again, I don't know if Vera is that guy that'll be able to do it. For anyone not on the Discord, we got plenty of bets. You can dump 4 to 5 units on results, not guaranteed. Shout out to my guy Dave in the chat. Shout out to my guy Dave. I love Dave. Antonio Garcia, you need some merch, including something with a lock and a beard. Yeah, you know what? My merch thing is a little bit off at the moment. I got to figure that thing out. Once I'm able to round that up and figure out what's going on there, I'll be able to drop some legit stuff for you guys. But yeah, I like that lock and the beard thing. Maybe like an outline or a silhouette of my face, right? Turban, face, blank face, beard, and then maybe a lock in the face or something like that. I think that would be pretty cool. Don't panic. R us saying 4 unit play on the main event to not go to decision lock. Talk me out of it or stick with it. I do think Usman finishes him in the fourth round. That's what my official prediction was. But man, I have no idea, man. Especially if these guys go out there and decide to strike with each other again, we could get a 25-minute fight. We almost got a 25-minute fight last time. Let's see what happens this time around if Usman doesn't actually, or sorry, if fucking Covington doesn't break his jaw. Dave is saying I'm going to steal that hat. Now, this is the first. Actually, I believe this is the first ever hat that I got. It was actually my wife that made it for me. So shout out to Mrs. Locke. But yeah, this is what kind of inspired the Locke hat thing. Let's see. Funny Vids is saying Pereira is a kickboxer. Yes, he is. Oh, Charlie Nine is asking would Pereira sub him. I'd be surprised if he subs him, to be honest. It would have to be like a club and sub if he subs him at all, but I think he would rather go for ground and pound rather than sink in a sub. Ruger Kev saying, judging by look of Wayne and face off, he still feels confident on Edgar. Look like very ready to do work. I don't put too much stock into that stuff, to be honest. It's a little bit, but not too much. Again, Frankie's a beast. The guy used to fight at 155 and was the champion up there. This guy has no qualms fighting guys that are bigger than him. Swoosh plays games saying feel the Jordan Williams upset tonight. I think the only way he wins is a Hail Mary knockout, honestly. But good luck if you go on that. My guy Ben. You say my prelim parlay: Osborne, Vergara, Melsik, Souza, both to not go the distance like that. Jacoby Allen, Barnett, Vellante, Shabazin, Imavov, Hawes, Curtis, all over 1.5, 42 and 634. I like it. I like it. Hawes Curtis could be a little bit sketchy if Hawes comes out there, tries to knock out Curtis quickly, like his good old days. But yeah, I don't mind it. Paul Brasfield is saying, I'm sorry, but Zhang is not winning this fight with Rose. Rose is very good and patient there. Again, I'm not overly confident in it, which is why I'm not betting that fight. Um, Baby Yoda, yeah, man, he needs to get back on. He was amazing. Yeah, I love El Jefe, man. That guy was a G. As soon as I saw him wearing that Dreamville shirt, I was like, that's my guy right away. This guy likes some J. Cole. I like me some J. Cole. Let's go. Jason, thanks for the content lock. Love the Molina breakdown. Got any good long shots. I will be dropping the over under parlay a little bit later in the stream. Again, I'm with you guys for until 2 p.m. And yeah, near the ending, maybe around 1:50, 10 minutes before the end of the stream, I'll drop that totals parlay for you guys. Thomas Kane, if you had to take a shot on dark and bet a draw, which fight can you see a path? Good question. Let's see. I could see a possible 10-8 in Imavov Shabazian if that goes the full 5 or full 3 rounds. Shabazian could win the first 2 and Nasruddin could get a 10-8 in that third round. Same with Chris Curtis and Phil Hawes. Curtis will likely lose the first 2 rounds, but could win that third round pretty decisively. I'd say that's really about it. I don't know if we'd get a 10-8 anywhere else or point deduction is also another issue, and a fighter that we can kind of look to that would potentially get a point taken away tonight will be Melsik Baghdasaryan. Man, when that guy fights, his hands are always extended out. Like coaches, referee, everybody's always begging this guy to bring his fingers back in, but it's a very bad look. So potential point deduction on Melsik Baghdasaryan today, but luckily it shouldn't matter as he should go out there and finish Bruno Souza either way. But potential draw there as well, right? Funny Vids is saying Edgar is too old. Again, I don't see Marlon Vera as a crazy big threat. Tristan Surehouse in the house. Appreciate you stopping by, my guy. Thomas Kane saying Usman in round 4 is his prediction as well. Buffo, you got Canelo tied to any parlays? I don't. Honestly, it kind of escaped my mind that that he was even fighting tonight. They're really not doing a good job of promoting that fight. The last thing I remember about that fight is when he socked him at the press conference a month or two ago. That's it. Haven't heard anything since. So I guess the putting him in as the cherry on top is always a not too bad idea, but I don't know. Personally, I haven't made any parlays that include him yet. Scott Mariani saying, "Lock, do you play FanDuel or DK?" I'm not gonna lie, it's been a long time since I've actually dropped a DraftKings lineup. I might do a couple tonight, depending on if I get the time here. Um, I got to get back into it, man. Like I got to get back on my DK content. I know a lot of people were begging for it before, especially when I was doing it with Sal Vetri earlier this year. Fuck. I will get on it again at a certain point and drop some content regarding it as well. Ruger Keb, your best three dog parlay. Ooh, interesting. Again, these are underdogs, very risky, so don't go too deep on it. I would go Frankie Edgar, obviously my big underdog play for tonight. Well, not big, but my one of my most confident underdogs on the card. Frankie, um, ah, again, tough card. I will say this, to me, it's considered an underdog because it's at plus money. But if you can add the Bogdazarian and Souza under 2.5, which is around plus 100, I'd consider that an underdog. You can throw that into a parlay, I think. And then let's see. Man, this is a tough one. This is really a tough one. Fuck it. Let's go. Let's go Chris Barnett. So Chris Barnett, Bogdazarian under 2.5, and Edgar. Hope that satisfies your itch, my man. Tajik Bay in chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my brother. Mr. Crypto, yes, Smelsic by KO. Dennis Lee, I left the new kids off my tickets where they might get nervous fighting their debuts at MSG. Possibly. This Ian Gary kid seems like he's one of those guys that will just take in that type of energy and translate it into something positive. Alex Pereira, the guy's been fighting all over the world already. I'd be surprised if he gets cold feet in front of a crowd like that. Finesse God saying I can't pass up on those odds on Kobe. I agree, man. Again, second best welterweight in the world should not be that wide of a favorite against a guy like Kamaru Usman. But again, I'm picking Kamaru to win, and I don't think I'll ever bet against Kamaru, to be honest. Labyrinth slash a UFC breakdown saying Osborne Vergara under 2.5, love it. Jacoby, love it. Gary, love it. Green Eye Quinta over 2.5, love it. Edgar Overo over 1.5, love it. Sorry, 5 leg at plus 300, not bad, not bad. Corey Allen, if you were to make a sprinkle 3+ fighter parlay, who's your most confident plays? Uh, Not taking odds into consideration. Fighters that I'm quite confident will win: Kamaru Usman, Shane Burgos, um, Ian Gary, Dustin Jacoby, Melsik Bagdasarian, Ode Osborne. You got 6 fighters right there. I think that should pay out decently. Kyle Radoff saying favorite two dogs. I've already answered that question. My guy Jazz Sugar in the chat. Solid card for betting purposes tonight. The under should really cash. Yeah, there's going to be a ton of violence in this, in my opinion. Jason, anyone else? Happy to see Patrick get that sub on James. I was so bummed that I couldn't get access to the prop on that bet. But yeah, Patchy is a monster, man. Antonio Garcia, something about green IQ that makes me take a stab on Quinta to see if he doesn't just strike. Yeah. Again, green fights always make me skeptical. He fights so close in all of his fights that I just don't want to take the plunge on him, even at chalk. If I were to bet him at all, it would just be him by decision. But who knows what kind of Iquinto we're getting? I just don't know if Iquinto's fully invested enough in the MMA game to beat a guy like Bobby Green at this point in his career. The DXJC56, Vera never fights the first round. As long as that stays true, Frankie only needs to make one more round competitive to take home a W. He'll get the nod in a close fight in NYC, possibly. But yeah, I think if this fight goes to a full 15 minutes, Frankie will more than likely get his hand raised. I really think that Vera needs a finish here. We'll see. Muller138 saying I hit for first place in MMA when you covered DFS. Was I really that good for you guys? I don't know. Again, there's so many other, so many other great guys. Shout out to my guy John Kelly DFS, Brett Apley from Daily Fan MMA. These guys are the true heroes of the DK world and the DraftKings world. John saying locked on to DK tonight. I'm going to get the takedown. All right. Maybe I'll see you at the top of the board, brother. Dave is on Curtis. I don't blame you. Jack saying Curtis is a favorite dog as well. Again, don't blame you. I'm not touching that fight other than a sprinkle on Curtis round 3. Ruger Kev, I got you, my brother. Yeah, DXJC round 3 KO. I'm all on it. Andrew Marchenko, appreciate you stopping by, my brother. What's happening, Lock? Thanks for the weekly content, as always, my brother. Gacy and Pereira must have on DK. I wouldn't say must have. I think Pereira will likely score pretty high here. Gaethje as well, but I think that he has a little bit more resistance to deal with, especially with Michael Chandler, man. That say what you want about him as a person, and kind of the image of him seems to be very tarnished to this point, but the guy can punch and the guy has some power, man. And Gaethje has a shaky chin, so that is a little bit of a worry. But I wouldn't classify them as must-haves, but I think if they win, they will score pretty highly. My guy Narco Cop in the chat. What's going on, my brother? Appreciate you stopping by. Luis Arleno saying, who did you take last week? Light heavyweight bout. What was the light heavyweight bout? Glover and Jan. I took Jan, but there was no way I was going to bet him as a minus 240 favorite there. That line was way too wide, and we saw exactly why. Were there any other light heavyweight fights? Ankalaev and Uzdemir. I had Ankalaev. Oleg Shajak, Gamzatov. I had Oleg Shajak. Yeah, those were the only light heavyweight fights. Dan Goldstein in the chat. Good morning, you beautiful SOPs and DX. That round 3 spin on action man at plus 2,600 on that, brother. Yeah, you got it. You have to. Jackson, first 2 fights of the night, not go to decision like it. Curtis by KO 20 to 1, €5 to win 100. Curtis round 3, 25 to 1. Curtis round 3 sub 160 to 1. Wow. Yeah, that's a possibility, man. That guy is a vet. That guy is an absolute vet. Good luck to you as well, my brother. Appreciate you stopping by. Dan Goldstein, Narco in the building. DXJC Alec went to the type of guy to win a split decision, and Bobby Green, the type of guy to lose a split decision. Plus, Al got the hometown advantage if the judges are being homers tonight. My concern is just Al's investment into the MMA game at this point in his career. Too many question marks. I really thought I was going to bet Al Icon to pre-tape, but I just can't do it, man. Be a rush if it gets into third rounds. Love the buzz. Yeah, exactly. It'll be great to see that happen. Alexander Ryan in the chat. Appreciate you stopping by, my brother. Molina was great. Yes. Yeah, man. He was awesome, man. He was really, really awesome. Ursa Becky, appreciate you stopping by. DXJC, how fast do you think per flatlines this month? I don't know if it'll be quick, but I'm hoping within the first round and a half, because I think if it goes after that, it will get interesting. Dan Goldstein, DX, I have a decent sized parlay with Green and Gary. The decision has me sweating. Winter, wouldn't be surprised if I get rampant Emiv today. Yeah, we don't speak about Emiv's name. Narco Cop is right, man. Dan Goldstein is the master of the wordplay in the YouTube live chat. Love that guy. Spot on picks. What's your lock of the night? I don't have a lock of the night tonight, man. I really don't feel comfortable splurging anything heavy on a bet tonight. I have about 5 total bets, nothing over 2 units. I'm a little bit skeptical about tonight. I have a joker too. Nothing on the deadpan. Tajik though. Yeah, Tajik doesn't do you any favors in terms of trying to get a laugh or a smile out of him. Good on him for sticking with that gimmick though. DXJC, I'm all over the over 2.5 because Bobby and now pretty much reliable to go the distance. Neither are reliable to win a close fight. Exactly. At minus 400 though, a little bit skept out. Have you given us any parlays this week, Blake Severson? I will be doing it in about 15 minutes. In about 15 to 20 minutes, I'll drop that totals parlay for you guys. Jack, 3-5 parlay, Vergara, O'Day fight to end in round 1, Melsa KO round 1, Pereira KO round 1, 47 to 1. Don't mind that. Jack is really letting it go with the Hail Marys today. Good luck, my brother. Finesse God said, love the DFS content on Sal's channel. Yeah, man. I'll trust me. I'm here. I hear you guys. Durdar saying thoughts on Canelo inside the distance at -190. Not a boxing guy. I've heard Canelo's supposed to go out there and mop the floor with this guy, so I guess it's a good bet. Not 100% sure. That dude saying, I hope we all win. Yes, exactly. Urso, you got a Hail Mary parlay for this week, boss? Yes, I will share. You know what? I'll share the Hail Mary parlay that I put on my Patreon. But the totals parlay will be coming one sec to pull it up. So the five legger that I'm going with for my Hail Mary parlay today is the Gaethje Chandler fight doesn't go to decision, Jacoby Osborne Vergara fight doesn't go to decision, Pereira Mihalaitis fight doesn't go to decision, and Ian Gary. Five leg Hail Mary parlay. Elijah Dream, how that Whitman parlay looking? I think the only one that I'm picking up against is Rose, but I can see her absolutely winning the fight as well. Not doing it myself though. Josh Sergio saying Osborne under 2.5, Melsick under 2.5, Vellante over 1.5, Gary under 2.5, Edmund over 1.5, Pereira under 2.5, Gaethje under 2.5, Vera Edgar over 1.5, Zhang over 1.5, Burgess over 1.5. Not many that I have an issue with there. I think they all have a decent chance of hitting. Yeah, there's not one that stands out to me that would lose there. That's pretty solid there. Jamin Gonks saying, do you like Alex and Bobby parlay? Alex Pereira and who Bobby Green. Again, Green's fights are just so close. And in terms of Pereira, I'd rather bet his inside the distance than parlay him at that number, to be honest. Narco Cop's got a lock of the night. He's saying Vellante Barnett fight is going to be absolute poo poo. Yeah, I'll lock it up for about 10 units. Make that a double lock of the night parlay. I'm right there with you, Narco. DXJC has been in the corner of tons of different Sarlongo guys on the regional scene and in the UFC with Merab and Aljo during this downtime, so he hasn't been far from the game. True, but it's a completely different thing if it's like getting ready for fights or staying in shape for fights and just helping your boys out. Because I got some boys, like when I used to work at the MMA gym, there's a couple guys that I know that, they're just working their full-time jobs. They're just doing other shit and they'll hop into the gym just for a workout and help out some of the pros guys. And they were former fighters or current fighters that are inactive as well. So again, he might be in the corners, which is great, but how much is he actually focusing on improving himself and maintaining his level of skill? Again, I understand that he can be live here. I'm not saying that he's not live at all, which is why I'm not betting Bobby Green in this fight. Alex Alexander Ryan saying only lock in my opinion is Chandler Gaethje fight doesn't go to decision. Yeah, that was roughly around that -300 mark. I personally, I don't feel like I can drop a -300 lock straight for you guys. I gotta give you guys some better odds than that. With that said, I do have some nightmares about Santos and Walker going to a decision, Capaloza and D'Elia going to a decision. Our Lord and Savior is Mr. Justin Gaethje, so we'll see if he comes through with the fight. Doesn't go to decision for us, whether it's him getting the knockout or him going out on his shield. But yeah, at -300 above, I just again, ethically, I just don't feel good dropping that as the lock of the night play. Scott Reed, does Edmund win? I'm actually picking Imavov, man. I think Edmund will look good early, and if he can't get Imavov out of there early, I think he's going to struggle later in this fight. He could, if he survives round 3, he could do enough to win the first 2 rounds. But I'm liking the improvements that I'm seeing from Imavov. I'm on the Imavov side, but I don't have an official bet on him yet. Dan Goldstein, I got the Poetin round 1-2 grouping plus 100, hoping for a red penny night. Yeah, you lost me there, Dan, but I'm sure you're doing something funny there. Alexander, I tend to agree. Jack saying Hail Marys are the most fun bets. Best I've hit was Minner sub round 1, cost around 1 KO, and Walker around 1 KO at 45 to 1, 450 to 1. That's an awesome one. Narco Cop saying that over under is hitting. Shout out to my guy, Jazz Shergill. You You guys are absolutely killing the chat. Shout out to the 125 live viewers that we have at the midpoint of the stream now. Make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe to show your boys some love. Um, Dave's saying Cody cracked me up about how I'm judges hate green. Yeah. Jason saying can't trust Bobby. I agree. Paul is saying Gary, Pereira, Jacoby, and Usman are locks. I'm picking them all to win. I just can't put a grand on any one of them, to be honest. Ursula is saying I never watched Elias Theodorou fight before. I did some tape studying for Brunson and Cannonier. He's like the opposite of a lay prayer type of guy. Just stand up, very weird style. Yeah, stand and hang. That's pretty much all he's doing. Yeah. Not going to Jeek into chat. Zero Bob is saying Shabazian should get it today. I feel like he's due for a win. That is no shots at you, Zero Bob. That is my least favorite or least favorite phrase is due for a win. MMA gods don't give a fuck whether you're due for a win or not. And when you have a guy that's improving like Imavov in front of you, that's going to be very tough. Yeah, no, I don't believe in that, to be honest. Andrew Marchenko, I can't unsee Jacoby's fight with Grisham. Any chance that Allen just outworks him and scores well due to takedowns? Jacoby's been doing much better since that Grisham fight, though, right? Like he gets back to his feet pretty well. I think if anything, Allen will probably slow down sooner than Jacoby, especially if he's struggling to, get the takedowns and even to hold him down. Jacoby's been doing a very good job in terms of getting back to his feet, even when getting taken down. And I think that could, really slow down Allen. And then we'll see Jacoby start to open up a little bit later. But yeah, I really like Jacoby here. AG saying no, Jacoby pops back up easy. Don't put too much into the Kutalaba Jacoby fight. Those takedowns, all mat returns shouldn't have been scored like that. Yes, exactly. Calvin is saying Gaethje doesn't do decisions. I agree. BP is saying 10 units on Shea Burgos at minus 200 to 5 units. Shane catching a body tonight. Good. Billy Q's durable. I know he's been knocked down on the regional scene, but as of lately, he's been quite durable. I wouldn't be surprised if Burgos finishes him, but I think it's going to be Burgos by decision. Paul Brasfield, but it was still 9 takedowns. Again, 7 or 8 of those were just quick mat returns where we just saw Jacoby bump right back to his feet. Dan Goldstein saying, we don't speak of Santos Walker. I have an O'Day CJ Vines play, and now all my fears are revived with that mention. Absolutely. Rod Torek, how does Rose Wiley play out? I think this one goes 5 rounds, to be honest. I think it's going to be back and forth. I think we'll see some more takedown attempts out of the Wiley side, more so than we're used to seeing from her. And I think that could be the difference maker in her getting the judge's decision here. No big confidence in that fight, though. There's a reason that it's a pick 'em fight. Yeah, I think if you backed Wiley last time and now you're flipping just because Rose knocked her out in 78 seconds, you gotta kind of go back and reassess your capping style or your predicting style because we didn't see much in that fight. Again, she got knocked out quickly. How does that fight play out if that kick didn't knock her out? We're gonna find out tonight. And maybe Wiley just can't take the kick of Rose Namajunas, but we'll see. We saw her go 5 hard rounds against Joanna and Jacek and never stop moving forward or never really wilt or get rocked or hurt too bad. But it took one kick from Rose, right? So we'll see. Dan Coaster, who's more likely for a KO, Gaethje or Burgos? I'd say Gaethje. We're pretty much caught up to the live chat. Almost. Nope. You guys are absolutely killing it now because the numbers just keep climbing on the live chat. I appreciate you guys stopping by. David Bonilla, are you on Billy Q? I am not. I'm picking Burgos, but I have no bet on that. Dennis, excuse me. Dennis Lee saying, has anyone reported on who the judges are tonight? No. BP early prediction on Font Aldo. Also done taping it last night. Strongly leaning Aldo. 5 rounders have not been good to Aldo, and Rob Font looked really good in his last fight against Cody Garbrandt. I'd say pre-tape lean is Rob Font, but I'd have to run that tape to be honest. Zero Bob, Marlon Vera should win too. Just don't trust the play. I'd be surprised if, well, not surprised. Again, he's the favorite for a reason. I'd be surprised if he wins by anything other than knockout. Kyle Stevens Shabazian is still very overrated by a lot of people. Yeah, I can't bet on that guy, especially if he continues to have cardio issues. You can have as many strong first rounds as you want. If you don't get the finish, things get hairy in rounds 2 and 3, and that's what we found out about Edmund Shabazian recently. And I trust Imovov's gas tank a lot better. Niklaus West, shout out to my guy Niklaus here, saying Pereira by finish minus 125, 2.5 units to win 2 units. I like it. I like it. I like it. I like it. Chris Heisenbutel is saying, I remember the Marina Rodriguez KO plus 1200. You got any props around that price that interest you on the card? Honestly, the only ones that really come to mind are the round 3 props for Imavov and Chris Curtis. Not as confident as the Rodriguez KO. I don't think I'll ever have another, plus 1200 ish level of confidence on a bet like I had that night. Let me see if there's something that is evading my gaze here. Melsick KO obviously plus 100. Jacoby decision plus 250. Nope. Ian Gary by submission plus 500. I feel quite good about that one. Like I said, Imavov KO is an interesting. Or sorry, Imavov round 3, Chris Curtis round 3. Yeah, not many others that I feel that confident about. And then even just poking Usman round props, round 3, 4, 5, plus 950, plus 1500, plus 30, or sorry, plus 2300. That's about it. There's someone, Becky, who do you think Patty should fight next just to get his feet wet? Ooh, I'm not sure. And honestly, I love you, Ursel. I don't want to spend too much time on that specific question. I want to talk about tonight's fights. Uh, if it comes to my mind before the end of the stream, I'll answer that question for you, brother. I apologize. Alex Weber, I'll be there. First live UFC event. Good luck, my brother. Have fun there. Should be a great night. David Bonilla saying everyone talks about how good Billy Q takes a beating. Yeah, the guy is nuts. The guy is nuts. Um, Alexander Ryan saying Edmund is going to avenge that Ian Heinisch, but yeah, fuck. I really got burned in that fight. But Imavov showed great improvements, man. That's something that we can't take out of the question here. Dan Goldstein saying, I've got round 2 starts in the Gaethje fight at a loud shock. I'm comfy with eating. I'll be happy to sweat 5 minutes and enjoy the violence afterwards. It's going to be a sweat and a half. I hope you're ready there with the towel to help yourself out after. Yeah, the Quealy knockout was probably one of the best I've seen in a while. Again, it's really the crowd that made it really good. DXJC Burgos just too hittable. Billy Q can match him on the upper while being about half as hittable. The concerns for me would be the power Burgos, probably the bigger, stronger guy, still leaning Billy Q. Yeah, I think the more damaging blows will likely come from the Burgos side. But yeah, you make some really good points there. Burgos is very hittable, and that's a big concern for me, which is why I did end up betting him in this spot. Andrew Marchenko, any love for Barnett by stoppage after seeing Vellante on the scale? It's a possibility, man. That fight is a shit show and a half. Let's see what the odds are on Barnett to win in round 1. Because I think if there is a finish, it would come early and it would likely come from Barnett. Barnett KO is plus 310. Barnett round 1 is plus 550. Might have to take a little bit of a poke on that myself, to be honest. Dan Coaster saying crazy how Edmund is still 23. Yeah, they pushed that kid way too quickly. Way too quickly. Dan Coaster Vellante by motorboat plus 800. Don't kill me. Raindrops. When is the start time for PST? So prelims are 6 p.m. Eastern. 3 p.m. PST. Main card would be 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. PST. Jimmy the Drunk, Patty versus the winner of ZM versus McKinney. I like it. I like it. I like it. Kyle Stevens saying this week, some prediction podcast I respect picking Edmund without hesitation was quite a shock to me. Guy's a 1 round fighter, 1.5 at best, but you talked about it. Yeah, exactly. Kyle Stevens, people sleeping on Imavov is also contributing. Exactly. I think Imavov is improving at a decent rate. He showed it well in that Heinisch fight. Let's see if he shows it tonight as well against Edmund, who could be a tougher test for him, but only for, like you said, about 7.5 minutes tops. Lucas Vaughn saying sick card. Yes, I can't wait. Ryan Maston saying, "Did you listen to Cody's breakdown of Zach Johnson fighting in BKFC tonight? What are your thoughts?" I didn't get to see the video. Somebody actually linked it to me, but right after we hopped off of propping you up, he actually filled me in on what he was talking about, because he did talk about it at the ending of propping you up for a little bit. But after we went off air, he told me about it. He showed me the video that he was kind of referencing, and yeah, it's nasty, man. I really like. I saw that they pulled the odds for that fight from a lot of sites, so that's something that we need to keep an eye on. But yeah, it should be an ugly fight, man. Not a good look at all. Jimmy the Drunk saying, if you have to pick one draw today, I have Billy Q. Appreciate the donation there, brother. I think I answered that question a little bit earlier in the stream today. There's a couple that I'd suggest. Melsik Bagdasaryan against Bruno Souza. Um, Bagdasaryan could absolutely get a point taken away. This guy always has his fingers outstretched. It's just a matter of time until he blinds a fucking opponent, because this guy, like, just as hard as he punches, he kind of throws out that lead hand just to kind of gauge his distance a lot, and his fingers are always pointing out. Just a matter of time until he pokes somebody's eye out. But I could see a point getting it taken away from him there. But that would mean we would need to see Bruno Souza get at least 1 round. I'm not sure if he'll be capable of that, but that's one fight that I'm considering in terms of a potential draw. And then the other two got to be the Imavov and Shabazian fights. Shabazian maybe wins the first 2 rounds, and then we get a 10-8 from Nasruddin in round 3, unless he finishes him. And then Chris Curtis and Philip Hawes as well. Hawes could potentially win the first 2 rounds, and we could get a big third round from Chris Curtis to potentially get a 10-8 or a finish as well. But yeah, those are the ones that I'm thinking about for a draw. Let's see. We're almost getting down to the last 15 minutes here. Anton D is saying Billy Q is the play. I don't hate it. Again, I haven't bet Burgos picking him to win, but we'll see. Average Joe saying Imavov won't offensively grapple like Edmund's last 2 opponents, so Edmund won't gas out as hard and win the first 2 rounds. I hear that argument, but my thing is, it seemed even after an entire round of striking that Edmund did against Jack Hermanson, he was still kind of gassing out, and it almost seemed like he was on the back foot for the majority of that fight. And obviously, the threat of the takedown possibly could have paid you know, could have made a difference in that fight. But I think also Imavov put a little bit of a pace on him, really work him. And you gotta, especially watching the tape, you gotta believe, you know, he'll try to involve some sort of clinching or something to try to slow him down. That third round is gonna be sketchy as fuck. Very third round. Anton saying Burgos couldn't stop Cobra Barbosa. His power is overrated. I agree, his power is overrated, but I think his overall striking is better than what Billy gets is able to throw out there. Dan Goldstein minus 250. That Williams gets TKO'd by his insulin pen not being loaded and refrigerated. Don't kill me. Drew B in the chat saying greetings, nerds and virgins. I love it. James O'Hagan, do you think Colby has a better than 50-50 chance taking down Usman, given he's a D1 wrestler and Usman was a D2? Usman's never given up a takedown inside the UFC, which is a crazy stat. Not even one. Not a single takedown. I'd say it's a 50-50 chance whether Colby gets him down. I want to say better than 50-50. Um, let's see. DXJC over under parlay will be coming in 2 minutes. Let me just catch up with the live chat here. Mixed partial farts, recommendations of over unders or fight doesn't go to decisions. I love the obviously fight doesn't go to decision for Chandler Gaethje, Vergara, Osborne, Bogdasarian, Souza, Pereira, and Mihalaitis. I'd say those are some of the more confident spots I'd say are on the card. Mm. Robot chicken wings. Jack stopped striking with Edman and was grappling. Yeah, the second and third round he started grappling. The first round he just thought he'd be able to hang with the striking there. Michael Coelho saying any hope for a Chandler sub? I don't think so. I know Khabib subbed him. I'd be surprised if Mike Chandler is able to do the same thing. Ursa Mo and Becky, did you hear Alex Pereira on MMA? Our former alcoholic with the help of kickboxing. Now he turned his life to much bigger things. I didn't know that actually. I missed that. That's a feel good story right there. Mixed martial arts, a D2 national champion is probably better than your average D1 All American. Look at mixed martial arts dropping some fucking knowledge on us. Dan Goldstein saying what he's saying. Can somebody decipher what this guy's message is? If you can copy and paste that into Russian to English translation, that'll be great. Big Sauce saying Frankie Edgar or Marlon Vera. I'm on Frankie. I got a unit and a half on him myself at plus 148. I think he's a really good spot tomorrow night. All right, let me get this over under parlay. Let me get this over under parlay going for you guys. Also, shout out to the Patreon members. We're doing the pay-per-view parlay for the patrons today, where I put out a survey and they give me their 4 most confident spots on the card. That's totals or money line. And then based on the voting, I put that parlay together, the top 4 legs. I put it together. I put 5% of what my Patreon take is on that parlay. And if it wins, I send the winnings to a random Patreon member. So shout out to the parlay guys over there. And I'll be making that parlay probably around 5 p.m. today. So keep on voting if you haven't already. All right. Here we go. Get your pens and papers out. Some decent over-unders today. All right. Let's go. Under 2.5, Osborne, Vergara. Under 2.5, Souza and Bogdasarian. Over 1.5, Volante and Barnett. Over 2.5, Iaquinta Green. Over 2.5, Edgar Vera. Oh, okay. A lot stingier than I thought I'd be with these over unders. Plus 711 so far with these parlays. Like those are the ones I feel most confident about on first glance. Osborne Vergara under 2.5, Souza Bogdasarian under 2.5, Volante Barnett over 1.5, Iaquinta Green over 2.5, Edgar Vera over 2.5. So if you want like my more confident ones, make that the parlay. If you want to get a little bit riskier, right? I know some of you guys are big degens like I am. If you want to add in a couple more, I will go under 1.5 in Mihalaitis Pereira, under 1.5 in Chandler Gaethje, and yeah, that's it. That's it. Let's keep it at that. So once again, Osborne Vergara under 2.5, Souza Bogdasarian under 2.5, Volante Barnett over 1.5, Iaquinta Green over 2.5, Edgar Vera over 2.5, Mihalidis and Pereira under 1.5, Chandler Gaethje under 1.5. That's plus 29.24. $50 on it to win 1,500. All right. Hope you guys got in on that. We'll see. All right, let's take these last couple questions. I'm going to hang with you guys for another 7 to 8 minutes. I'm actually just finishing up the tape annex for the next Bellator event. So look for the next Bellator event on the tape annex within the next couple hours if you guys want to get a head start before tonight's card kicks off. All right. Um, BRB saying I'm betting a lot of overs tonight. These guys spar too much. We shall see. Chris Curtis KO prop. Chris Curtis third round KO or third round finish was obviously a very good spot as well. Blake Severson, no worries, brother. Appreciate you stopping by. Adam Burst saying, don't think Phil Haas is any good. Me neither. But I just don't know if Chris Curtis will be able to cut it at 185 pounds. That guy's a 170er. Big, tough guy that he's going up against tonight. He could overcome it, but we'll see. Um, Killer G, good luck tonight. Got the edibles ready. Got the food plans, and we're in for a good night. Yeah, I got a couple buddies coming over tonight to watch the fight, so should be a good night. Jonathan Reynolds, who's Zach Johnson. He's actually fighting on BKFC tonight, and yeah, Cody thinks it's going to be a very, very bad for Zach Johnson. Paul Brassfield saying, I'm not touching Hawes Curtis. Yeah. Again, I just have the round 3 prop for Curtis. That's about it. Adam Burris, that's true about Hawes is going to gas at some point. Yeah, that's what we said over the last 2 fights as well. But again, Chris Curtis is a vet. He might be able to weather that early storm and then really get it going in the next in that third round. DXJC, Chris Curtis is the number 1 welterweight, middleweight, and light heavyweight in the U.S. topology. This man can handle some big boys in 30 from that ranking, right? Is he really, though? Is he really? Excuse me. Labyrinth saying, I'll call that a lucky long shot. I like it. Manny V in the chat. Let's go, brother. Kyle Stevens, do you believe in the rule that rematches are always going the opposite way of the original, early finishes becoming decisions and vice versa? Um, I'm not saying I believe it. It is just a trend in Rose Namajunas' fights, right? The last 2 rematches, she had finishes in the first fights, decisions in the next one. I don't think that it's a rule. But there's so many instances where like fights don't normally play out the same way as they do the first time, right? The big one that I always remember, and this one's a little bit of a classic now. And it's weird that I'm calling a fight like this a classic because it feels like it was just yesterday. But um, Junior Dos Santos versus Cain Velasquez. Remember their trilogy? JDS knocks him out in 60 seconds, and then the next 2 fights, Cain Velasquez absolutely, you know, bodies him over the next 2 fights, taking years off of JDS's life. Then we get the John Jones fight with Alexander Gustafsson. That goes a historic 5 rounds, one of the craziest fights of all time. And then he finishes him easily in the second fight. Jones DC, similar shit there, right? Like, I don't know. Drew B, the biggest Colby Covington fan in year. Jackson Roberts, let's go. Superstar card. Usman is going to finish Colby. I am right there with you. Killer G, what do you think ends up being Friday night 3 bangers that can take it in? Burgos, Gaethje, Usman. Yeah, Burgos and Billy Q should be fucking insane. That should be a great fight. Vergara Osborne could be a fun fight if they engage. Shabazzy Nemavov could be a fun fight. But yeah, I think it's going to be very difficult to top Gaethje Chandler, Quarantillo Burgos, and even the main event. Even the co-main, excuse me, Rosen Wiley could be a banger fight too. DXJC, I was shocked at the light heavyweight ranking. I think that's like based on a specific region in the States, though, right? It's Booty Yolok. Who do you think will be the biggest apple pie shooter of the card? Uh there could be a couple. Phil Hawes could be, or sorry, Chris Curtis could be shitting in people's pies there. I think Frankie Edgar could be shitting in people's pies. Um no one else really sticks out to me heavily enough. Colby Covington, man, he's live. He is absolutely live. I'm picking Usman, but he is live as a motherfucker. Robot Chicken Wings, Andrade was on her way to winning. Everyone forgot that. Yeah, she really changed the tide in that fight. really beat the shit out of Rose in that third round. If I'm not mistaken, Rose's like eye was closing up in that fight. Yeah, she really fucked her up in that third round. Don Coster, how funny would it be if Colby drops Usman with a liver kick, then ground and pounds him to win? Could happen, man. Could happen. All right. Appreciate the 200 plus live viewers that we got for the fight day live stream. You guys always come through, whether it's a fight night or a pay per view. So I truly appreciate that from the deepest depths of my heart. If you guys haven't already hit that like, please do. We got 63 current likes with over 200 live viewers. And I was hoping to get at least a 50% ratio of y'all hitting that like button before I got out of here. So hopefully we can hit that 100 mark before I actually hop offline. But truly appreciate you guys. Again, I'll quickly go over the bets that um I'll quickly go over the bets that I've made for tonight. I have a unit and a half on Edgar at plus 148. I have a unit on the under 2.5 in the Baghdasaryan fight at plus 100. I got 1 unit on Pereira inside the distance at plus 110. 2 units on Ian Gary and Ode Osborne parlayed at plus 106. And I got 2 units on Dustin Jacoby parlayed with Michael Chandler and Gaethje fight doesn't go to decision. 2 units at minus 132. So those are what my bets are. Drew B asking what poster is that behind you? This one is kind of like a plaque for when I went to Aldo McGregor. That's actually my ticket that's in there as well. When I went to Aldo McGregor, the other poster is the first ever live UFC event I went to, which was UFC 113, where my favorite fighter of all time, Shogun Rua, was able to capture the light heavyweight strap by knocking out Lyoto Machida. Bufo, you got my blessings, brother. Usman Pereira, let's fucking go and good luck, brother. Good luck. Mixed partial farts saying, invite me over, Lock. I'm in Toronto, Rexdale. I'll bring some edibles. I'm gonna watch. Let's get a little bit more familiar with each other first before you come on over to my place. You know, Mr. Random YouTube commenter. I know you've been in the YouTube comments for a section. It is not signed. Droopy is not. It is not signed poster. It's more sentimental to me because of I've been to both of those events. All right. Charles Freeman obviously saying Frankie don't stand a chance. That's what they always say. There's always certain fighters that don't stand a chance. But if I see an angle, I'm going to take a chance on it. Swoosh plays games. Which fight are you looking forward to most? Besides the 3 big fights that everybody keeps talking about, obviously the 2 title fights and Chandler Gaethje, the fight that I'm most excited about has got to be Billy Quarantillo and Shane Burgos. That's going to be absolute fire. All right, 2:00. I'm out of here. Remember, fights kick off at 6 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you guys aren't napping or anything. And let's fucking go. Good luck on your bets tonight, and I'll see you guys hopefully early next week for Yair and Holloway. We'll be dropping the breakdowns hopefully nice and early in the week. Yeah, good luck on your bets tonight, and I'll see you guys next week. Let's go.